Fiancé Assults best friend at Bachelor party, wedding canceled, friendship shattered, and legal battles looming in a shocking turn of events. Original post, I don't know what to do. My 28-year-old fiancé, Nathan, 28, has a best friend, Stacy, 28, since they were 4. She's not like the usual Reddit best friend. She's a lovely, sweet person who has never crossed boundaries with Nathan or their 2 other friends, Craig and Ethan. The 4 are very close. Stacy is gay and always was. She is very much a woman, but likes to dress in jeans and t-shirts and not in any feminine clothing. She is lean, tall, has short hair, and is just one of the boys in a lot of ways. This weekend was Nathan's bachelor party. All 4 plus 2 other of Nathan's friends went along. It was to a coastal town that's well known for hosting bachelor and bachelorette parties, but there's no strip club or anything. They stayed in an A, B, and B, and scuba DVYing and kayaking were planned. The first night, they went to an okay dinner restaurant and nightclub. Last night was the issue. They went to the nightclub and headed back to the house. Craig and Ethan, who are both single, brought back 2 girls from the nightclub and got busy in their bedroom. The rest of the group were drinking in the VYing room, but things started to get a bit annoying. 2 of the friends began complaining that they never got the chance to go to a strip club and had never seen breasts and buttocks. They started blaming their wives for this and even resorted to calling them offensive names. Stacy told them to shush as it was ruining the mood, and they both thought it would be funny if they saw Stacy's body naked to make up for it. The thing is, Nathan joined in and they stripped her. She was screaming loudly, and Craig and Ethan came running and rescued Stacy and put her in a bedroom with the girls and had a fight with the 3 men. Ethan doesn't drink due to a chronic medical condition and the medication he is on. So they packed up and took Stacy and the 2 girls and left the other 3. Stacy was hysterical and Craig wanted her to go to the police, but she wouldn't. She was afraid to go home. So they ended up dropping the girls off and taking Stacy to her parents, which was an hour away. Craig was at my door at 7 a.m. this morning, and he told me what happened, that if he ever sees Nathan again, he's afraid of how things could go. He told me that if he can con NCE Stacy to press charges, then he left. Nathan returned about 3 o'clock this afternoon. He was acting normally until I told him Craig had VY cited. He was very nervous and tried to play down what happened as a joke that got out of hand. I am devastated. I heard him out, but he knew I wasn't accepting what he was saying. I told him Stacy may be going to the police, and he got very panicked and pale. He said she had him blocked, and he wanted to go talk to her. I told him she wasn't at her place, as she was too afraid he or his buddies would turn up there. I asked him to leave, and he didn't want to go, but I insisted. He was crying, saying it was a prank that got out of hand. I heard him out only as a courtesy to our 2-year relationship, but I'm done. I don't know this man. I don't know if I should reach out to Stacy or just do nothing. Craig and I have been in constant contact, and he agrees that I have no option but to end things. I don't know where to start with canceling everything as the wedding was in 5 weeks, but it seems try VY I'll compare to what Stacy is going through right now. Craig is con VY and said that Stacy is going to the police after talking to her parents. So I think Nathan is in trouble. I can't support him on this. Maybe I'm wrong as he was drunk and probably had taken other things. But this was his friend from age 4, and he did this to her. I've not blocked Nathan, but I've not replied or picked up any of his calls. Update sorry, I don't know how to do updates, so posting this separately. It's been a terrible day. I can't reach out to my friends yet as I'm ashamed. I did tell my parents and my brother, and they have been wonderful. My brother brought his friend with him when he came to stay, and today both of them packed up every bit of my ex's stuff and took it to his parents' house. Nathan was there and just asked if that meant I was finished with him, and my brother said yes. And did he really expect any other reaction? His father intervened and told him not to say anything more. He told my brother to tell me to contact him about canceling the wedding. I'm not contacting his father ever. My parents are handling the cancellation of the wedding, and my father got in contact with my cousin who is a lawyer, and he's going to help and add VYSE me as I have to disentangle myself from X on Lisa's bank account SA, VYNGS, and such. Although my brother made me transfer all of my money from joint account SA, VYNGS, and daily accounts to my own account. It's a mess. I tried to ring Stacy, but she isn't up for speaking to anyone, so I just texted her that I was there for her and that I had broken up with Nate. She hasn't replied, and I don't expect she will. She's in a bad way. Apparently, Ethan spent 3 hours with me today. There's a lot going on, but I'm afraid to say too much for fear of damaging any court case. Just to say there are 2 VY Deos of the incident, one by Joel, one of the 2 friends. A lot of it is chaotic, but the last part is clear, and apparently the owners of the rental house apparently have gotten involved and have footage, but I can't say more. When Craig left me, he went to both those guys' wives and told them what happened. Joel's wife has been very helpful apparently, and she is split from him. The other guy's wife too has left him. Things are going how most of you want them to go. That's all I will say. While I will add, it was worse than what Craig shared. Ethan told me that before Stacy found her style, she had long hair and dressed feminine and was stunningly beautiful, and all three of them were in love with her. Nathan took a rejection very personally apparently, and Ethan says he was angry and bitter for a couple of years, but hid it from her. They thought he had gotten over it, but Ethan feels this is smack of revenge again. Scary if this is true. I have and continue to receive hundreds of texts from Nathan. He told me his father told him to stop texting me, but he can't. I haven't replied or blocked based on we add VYC. This is very hard, and I don't know what way all this is going to end. Sorry about any mistakes and typos. I'm not doing well. If there's more, I will post again if I'm able. Update to hi, all my last update is removed, but if anyone is interested, I thought I'd post the latest and get some ad VYC. I got a call from Stacy. Ethan has been ever present in, and I'm guessing it was because he knew she was going to call. There's a lot more to the story. The first night was normal, as I said, but on Saturday, Nathan, Joel, and their friend decided not to go scuba DVYing with Stacy, Ethan, and Craig. Stacy was feeling very hung over, so after an hour, she gave up and went back to the Airbnb. She walked into the Lee VYing room to find all three guys engaging in sexual acts with two women. Joel shouted at her to get out, as this was costing them a fortune. The women were escorts. She left and went back to the boat and only told Craig what she saw when they all went back later. Nathan told her to not tell me, as it was just his last bit of freedom. She told him she was disgusted with him and that he wasn't free. She told him she would have to think about what to do. Craig conned VY and set her to stay another night, as he and Ethan had met the two girls the night before and were seeing them again that night. And if Stacy wanted to leave, then Ethan would have to take her, as he was a ride and there wasn't public transport in the tiny town. So Nathan cheated, as did the other two. Craig told their wives that morning, but not me. He was going to do it in stages, as he knew I was in shock. The actual assault went further than Craig told me also, and while Nathan hadn't actually done anything beyond pulling off her clothes unlike the other two, he stood by and watched and did nothing to help her. She said she thought he had taken shrooms earlier, but couldn't be sure. Craig and Ethan did rescue her, but things had already escalated. She went to the police immediately, and she got her parents. The Airbnb owners had also gone independently when they saw the footage. All three men are facing the consequences of their actions. Stacy told me she was sorry she didn't leave and told me immediately like she wanted to do. She is very distraught, and I didn't want to make things worse for her. I don't think I'm needed for any legal proceedings, so I finally blocked Nathan's parents. The wedding is canceled, and I'm just starting to disentangle myself from Nathan on bank accounts and such. Here's my issue. I'm feeling very angry toward Craig. It feels like he didn't really care about me. He stopped Stacy from telling me, so he could continue to shack up with the girl he met. He apparently feels guilty because if they had left, Stacy would not have been attacked. He didn't do me the courtesy of telling me that Nathan cheated that morning like he did with the other two wives. It's not like he was sparing my feelings because my ex assaulting another woman was a pretty damn bad thing. He didn't tell me the full extent of the attack. Stacy is still unsure if Nathan wasn't just waiting his turn or if all he was going to do was watch. I should have been told that ASAP and not from Stacy because the conversation was incredibly difficult for her. Ethan didn't know about the escorts at all, didn't know Craig hadn't shared the full story of what they saw when they... Ethan has been my rock. I need some perspective here. Is it okay to be angry at Craig? Is it misplaced anger? I'm pretty angry at Nathan though, and that's all I feel towards him. Can anyone give me a different perspective? I'm missing Craig, and I had been in constant contact. He's already back at work, so it was messages, texts, and occasional calls. He actually VY-sided last night, but I didn't open the door to him. Ethan is saying whatever I feel right now is okay, but I think he's just plating me. I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't have to have any more contact with Nathan, and think the case will move along without me. I'm thinking of telling Ethan that I need a break from him and Craig and that group of friends. Stacy and I have said we will stay in touch, but I can't see us being very close. My best friend, who I finally confided in, thinks I should just step away from them all now, for good, and try to move forward. My parents agree and think it's necessary for healing. My brother thinks Ethan has been nothing but great, and I shouldn't cut him off, but they all seem to be a package deal, but without Nathan now, OBVY usly. So I think it's probably all or nothing. What should I do? I don't want to be ungrateful, but a clean break feels right. Update 3, I've been putting off writing this update, but I'm back because I need even more ad VYC and an outside perspective. The comments have been pretty helpful so far. Thank you. It's long, but I'll do my best to shorten it. Trigger warnings for SA drugs VY Olents. First of all, Stacy and I have bonded. She and I talk every day and message constantly. I didn't expect that, but it's truly wonderful. She says she needs a good straight friend right now. Just kidding. And honestly, she's a great person and has been a huge support to me despite what she has been going through. I told her I posted here as I felt guilty as to tell my story. I had to tell hers. She was okay with it. She is thinking of VYing her right to anonymity when the trial comes, as she wants everyone to know she was raped and by who. Stacy has quit her job, moved to her parents full-time, and is in therapy. She's just about okay, Sir VYing still rather than leave VYing. But she is so strong and amazing. Justice moves slowly here, so there isn't too much of an update on the legal process. Craig was told, however, he would not face charges for assault for attacking the two actively attacking Stacy. I went back to work, and it was awful. I work for a tiny startup. Owen, who works there, is friendly with Craig and my brother. We are all into martial arts and attend the same dojo, so I'm getting a lot of pity. I'd have been okay with sympathy or empathy, but being pied sucks. Still, it's better than being home all day doing. Ethan gave me space as I asked, and he's truly a good guy. There's nothing romantic there at all, though. I'm not in a fit state for anything like that, and won't be for a very, very long time. And he is just a good guy, no ulterior motives. We text a bit, and he is in a lot of contact with Stacy. I got a letter in the mail from Nathan, said he held out hope while I hadn't blocked him, but once I did, he was distraught. He told me he doesn't want to freak me out by turning up in person, and I know that wouldn't look good for him anyway, but he just wanted to tell his side of the story. He said he was pressured into doing stuff with the escorts, and he only got a BJ. The other two were really pressuring him to do more, but he didn't, and says he regrets even doing that. He admits he was angry at Stacy because she told him he either told me about the cheating or she would, but he knew he was totally in the wrong. He knew I would dump him for cheating, so he took everything he could get his hands on. He's not even sure what he took, and while he remembers pulling off Stacy's shoes, he doesn't remember anything else. So he was just peer pressured and drunk and drug up, and he did nothing wrong at all, basically. I was just disgusted to read this. His total lack of accountability is just sickening. I'm not responding to him ever. Any future mail goes unopened into the trash. I'm in therapy, but it's early days, and I'm not seeing progress yet. That leaves me with Craig. He knows I've been angry with him, and he is desperate to talk it out. I probably feel too much anger towards him, but find it hard not to. He is still feeling very guilty over making Stacy stay. I don't understand why I feel so angry toward him. It's not on the level of anger I feel towards Nathan by any means, but I'm still hesitant to talk to him. I think he made mistakes, but in my heart, I know he was dealing with a lot that morning, but I just wouldn't have been there when Nathan got home if I had known the truth. I feel Craig should have told me everything, as I was the one who had to face Nathan alone. I know I should hear him out, but I'm finding it very hard. How can I get past this? I want to clear the air with him, even if we were never friends, and me cutting him out is really VYing a terrible effect on him. I know he rescued Stacy and has been constantly checking up on her. I know he could be a good guy, but part of me feels he wasn't all good that week. I don't know. I haven't touched this in therapy, as we are just starting and are talking about Nate. I need add VYC on how to deal with this. I wanted to give it some time, but Craig's mental health is pretty poor, and maybe by not meeting him, I'm just making him worse. How can I find in me to just bite the bullet and hear him out? Why am I so angry with him? How can I move past this? I don't want to be angry at him. I'm so exhausted from being angry at him and at Nathan, and I wanted to stop at least toward Craig, but it won't help. I'm VY citing Stacy for the weekend that should have been my wedding. We're going to have a low-key marathon, and her mother is making a cheesecake. My own family has been wonderful in every way, but Stacy is truly why I'm still standing. Edit forgot to say it wasn't an Airbnb, it was just a privately rented house. I just assumed incorrectly it was. Now, to the next story.